All right, I believe I am joined with Mary Elizabeth Monroe back on the show. Hello, Mary.
I finally got through. I'm so sorry I have such bad service.
Oh, that's okay.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing real good, and thank you so much for coming back. You said you wanted to
Of
come
course.
back. You said you wanted to come back, and given that your first interview has been one of the most viewed interviews on the YouTube channel, I mean, I got to give the people what they want, and you requested that to come back. So well, I'm not gonna argue with that.
Well, definitely. I had a lot of fun, so I'm glad to be back.
All right, well, let's go ahead and recap a couple of things. You have had a couple of UWF matches since you came back. You've
Yes, and I've gotten to see you live and in the flesh.
I was there twice,
Yeah.
you went up against Alita Ortiz for the first time. You now faced her twice, and you defeated her. What was it like being in the ring with Alita?
It was interesting. It's always exciting to face a new opponent because there are new challenges. You have to take the first beginning of the match beforehand, watch this person, and get as good of a sense of who they are and what they can do as quickly as possible. So that's always a fun and exciting challenge. Sometimes I will try things and it will work. Sometimes I'll try things and it doesn't work. So it's another new learning process to get to work with something new. And I think every time I do that, I come out a better performer.
I mean, how does it work when you go in the ring and face someone for the first time? Do you get a chance to talk to the wrestler, before the show starts, just to see if y'all on the same page and stuff?
You know, I've had a lot of different experiences. I've had some experiences where it may be someone who I have worked on a show with and I know them, and I know what maybe their out-of-the-ring personality is, but I have not faced them in the ring. So sometimes that can give me an idea of what I think their personality is, their strengths and weaknesses are. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong, and I learn that in the ring. And there are other times when there's somebody that I have not spoken to, I have no clue about anything, about their personality, their abilities, and I just have to get in the ring and wing it.
And you are obviously you're undefeated since you came back, and I told you the last time I seen you 3 words: next Vixen's champion, which kind of segue into my next question. Do you see yourself in the hunt for that Vixen's championship?
Well, incidentally, the second time I faced Alita Ortiz, I was supposed to face the current Vixen's champion, Lil Naughty. So that is something that is on the table, and if that is a match that is offered to me, I will take it, and I plan to win. In that case, she was not able to appear, so I ended up facing Alita Ortiz again. So I really am happy getting to compete and getting to perform and becoming a better wrestler, but absolutely, if I can get a chance to work with someone that gives me an opportunity to win a title, then that is even better.
And in addition to your return to UWF, you got a match coming up, and you take on a familiar rival from UWF. You'll be facing her in Virginia. You're going up against Jessie Bell. But what makes it interesting that you're kind of still going to go under the same names of sorts. I mean, you're going to be go by Mary Elizabeth Hatfield, and she goes by Jessie Bell McCoy. And talk about that show and that match coming up.
Well, that is for Covey Promotions, and we know Jessie Bell has gone through a lot of I guess, struggled with her identity and kind of finding out what her heritage is and her lineage. So she recently found out, and not really to any surprise for me, being that she's born and bred Kentucky girl, that she actually has some McCoy in her background. And I already previously had known, but never thought it was relevant, that I had some Hatfield way back in my family. So it just became an opportunity when she found that out for Covey Promotions to bring us together, and I guess sort of try to put an end to that years-long feud for once and for all.
I said this the first time I interviewed you, and I'll say it again. Every time when Mary Elizabeth Monroe and Jesse Bell are in the ring, no matter where it's at, where it's located, the fans are going to be in for a treat, and they are going to be in for a quality women's wrestling match. So if you are in the Virginia area, go check it out. Jesse Bell versus Mary Elizabeth. You will not be disappointed. So Mary, do you have any more matches, anything else in the works as of right now?
Well, I do want to just specify that people can go to the Covey Promotions website and Facebook. They can actually reach that through my Facebook. And the upcoming date is October 13th in Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. More details will be found online. Right now, I've got that series of dates. I don't know how many times I will face her there, but I expect since she and I both are the personalities that we will each fight tooth and nail, I think it'll be a series. I think that, whoever wins the first time, the other one's going to want to come back and keep trying, because neither of us give up. So I know that first one will be October 13th, and then we'll see where we go from there. And then right now, I don't have any other specific dates lined up. I do expect to be back at UWF in the future, just no specific dates at the moment. I do expect to be back at Nation of Wrestling in Chillicothe, Ohio, coming up soon. And I also will be working for Christian Wrestling Entertainment in Hamilton, Ohio. But at the moment, I don't have any specific dates or opponents for any of those. So that's kind of, people will need to keep an eye on my Facebook, and I definitely will let you, Kenny, know. So if people listen to your show and you're able to update them when I update you, then that's going to be kind of on an as I find out basis.
I like the sound of that. Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, the official source of one Mary Elizabeth Monroe. It's got a nice one.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. Do you, by any chance, watch matches on YouTube of yourself? And if you do, how do you react to it? Do you see things you've done well and things that you could improve?
I definitely do that. I try to film my matches whenever possible, because in anything, I think that's always a really good learning experience when you can self-assess and self-correct. The problem with that is sometimes people will get caught up by watching themselves and just saying, oh, I did this good, I did that good. And that doesn't really help quite as much, because if you're already doing it right, then you don't need to fix that. So that's not where you're going to be able to improve. You really have to have the strength of character to be able to sit down and watch what you do wrong and what looks bad, and that's very hard to do. I know just recently I watched a match where I had wrestled Little Naughty a few years ago, and I think at the time I thought that it wasn't a bad match, and even now I think it probably wasn't a bad match, and it definitely was good for the level I was at the time. But now that I have some more years of experience, I can look back on that, and there is a lot that I see that I'm not happy with, and I've either already fixed and improved, or maybe there are some things that I haven't really done over time. So if I do want to do any of those kinds of moves or use those techniques again, I want to make sure that I correct any of the problems and make sure that I'm being as effective and as efficient an athlete as possible.
For those who just tuning in, you're listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio right here on itmiradio.com, and I'm rejoined by Mary Elizabeth Monroe. Check her out on Covery Pro Wrestling in October, going up against Jessie Bell. That will be a remarkable matchup, so if you're in the Virginia area, be on the lookout for it. And every now and then you'll see her in United Wrestling Federation, Georgetown, Kentucky. They are on Sundays at doors open at 6. The show starts at 6:30, and they have a couple of additions to their Vixens division. They have former OVW wrestler C.J. Lane, who made her debut this past Sunday, I believe. And they have a wrestler named Lila Lodge, all the way from Washington. She's on her way back as well. And Felony Fox, from what I read on her Facebook, they are in the works on working on early stages of their third Vixen show. So I'm sure Mary will at least be a part of that. I'm looking forward to that. So, Mary, let me ask you this. What do you consider your greatest strength as a wrestler? Is it the entertaining side, the wrestling side? I mean, what do you consider your greatest strength?
I don't know that I think of myself as great in either aspect, because I see a lot of areas that I can improve and that I want to continue to improve. I do think that I am really well-rounded as an athlete and an entertainer, and that's always important to me, not to leave out either part of wrestling. I think that some people will go to one extreme or the other, and I think it is very, very important to just have the total package. So I think that I have some strengths definitely in each area. As far as a wrestler goes, I think I'm very good at making adjustments and sort of improvising in a situation. Sometimes something unexpected happens, particularly with an opponent I haven't faced and I don't know what to expect. And I have to think quickly on my feet and move and react very quickly, or else I'll get caught up and I would lose. So that's, I think, one of my strengths as a wrestler, and I think outside the box. So I will do anything I can think of to get out of a situation and get back on top, even if it's maybe something sort of unorthodox. And then as an entertainer, I really pride myself on being able to connect with people. I love working for companies that cater toward families and have children. I just love any crowd that is full of people who really are excited to be there and want to have fun and enjoy themselves. So just being able to connect to those people and for them to know and be able to feel that I'm really genuine, and that I'm not just there to collect a paycheck, that I am truly connecting with them and I truly see them and want to entertain them. I want them to enjoy themselves, but I also want to give them a message and give them something they can take away, as far as maybe some people need to see that they may get knocked down, but they can keep getting up and they can keep trying. Some people need that sort of hope. Some people need to see that no matter how other people see them, that they get to decide what their identity is and who they are and stay true to that, defend that. So I think those are some of my strengths in each area, but I don't know if I could say that one or the other is my main strength, or that I even think I'm really great or spectacular at any one thing. I guess that would be for you and my fans to open up a discussion and see what you think.
Well, just for seeing you, I will say that you're an all-round athlete yourself. You get yourself you're in good shape, obviously, and you do get the crowd attention, whether you're a heel or a babyface. So I will probably say you're an all-round athlete and entertainer in my book.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That is definitely what I want to be, and that's what I try to be. So to hear that that's what people see me as is very gratifying.
And my last question is, I purchased the DVD that you were selling, and you had a match with Jesse Bell, and you had a match with Johnny Rock, who I like to call him the Elvis lookalike.
Yeah.
And what shocked me is I didn't even know that he wrestles. I know he's mostly a manager, but I did not know he wrestles every now and then. Is that something you see yourself doing more in the future, intergender matches?
I actually have done that all throughout my entire career. Sometimes I've done it more than others, and part of that has to do with the amount of available female wrestlers. There are times where there just haven't been women available for me to work with, and it came down to between me going up against the men and getting in the ring and holding my own against them, or sitting on the sidelines. And I am not interested in sitting on the sidelines. That's not what I'm there for, and I don't feel like I can be effective and really reach people to the best of my ability when I'm doing that. So that's always something that I'm open to, and I think that it will definitely happen again down the line. In the case with Johnny Rock, if I remember correctly, I think he was really kind of getting too big for his britches, and he was starting to deride the women's wrestling, especially with the sort of still new Vixen roster. And somebody really had to stand up for what we're doing and what we believe in and what we've worked for. And I was that person. So he had the choice to back down or get in the ring and try to back up his bird. And he tried and he failed. And I don't know that he's been inside the ring very much since then.
Well, at the end of the day, and let me use a music anthology, you gave him the blues on that matchup. Great talking to you, Mary. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. It's always great talking to you, and thank you for all you do as a wrestler and as a person. I'm honored to know you, and not as a wrestler, but as a friend, and I just wish you many more success.
Thank you so much.
And you have a good night.
You too. Good night.
All right, bye-bye. That was Mary Elizabeth Monroe joining me for nearly 17, 18 minutes or so. Very nice person. Very cool chick.